Yeah, got my bucket of blood with me, baby.
I came to express the rap I manifest. I came to express the rap I manifest.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 39 here on my random horror review series. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, week 39, and this is a very special episode because I've got a film here that's been released by a brand new company, a relatively new company, releasing company, by the name of The Film Detective. Now, these guys specialize in restoring, older films, mostly like black and white type films. It seems to me that they like to do a lot of public domain films and things like that. But, it doesn't really matter. As long as these films are getting on Blu-ray with some decent transfers, thumbs up in my book. So for this one right here, this is from 1959, and I believe this is their first Blu-ray transfer that they've done so far. And it is no other than the cult classic Roger Corman flick, A Bucket of Blood. Now, I'm really intrigued by this cover art because I'm not sure if this is like an original poster art for the movie or what it is, but I'd never actually seen this cover art until I'd seen this on this release. So very, very cool stuff. Now, if you're not familiar with A Bucket of Blood, now the story of Bucket of Blood is basically kind of based on the mystery of the Wax Museum that came out in 1933, of course, which was remade in 1953, starring Vincent Price. Yeah, the story for this one right here is kind of based off the original film. But yeah, getting into the synopsis of this one, it basically follows your main character, Walter Paisley. Walter Paisley is a very naive, moronic, very impressionable type character. He's a busboy that works in a very pretentious art house type cafe type deal. And one day he's doing his job and he sees this artist up on stage and he's doing his poetry and things like that. And he becomes very impressed by it. He's just like blown away by this artistic value of this artist. And now he decides that he wants to become an artist himself, but he can't really write poetry. He's not that smart and stuff like that. So he invests in some clay and he decides that he's going to sculpt things. He's going to do sculptures. And so that's not really going so well for him. And then all of a sudden he has an accident with his landlord's cat. And he gets this bright idea that, to cover up the evidence, what he's going to do is he's going to entomb this cat inside this clay. And it turns out really well. So he brings it to this artist, and the artist really likes what he's done with the sculpture, and he names it Dead Cat. Now he gets this bright idea that since he doesn't have any creative or artistic value to his being, he's going to start killing humans and entombing them inside this clay, and that's your film right there. So basically, like what I said, it's very much the premise of House of Wax to a certain degree. Now my thoughts on this one. Now, this is such a fun horror comedy. I've always really enjoyed this film. It's just such a fantastic film. It's very short. This one only runs 66 minutes long. And I just couldn't believe how fast it flew by. I hadn't seen it in years. And it's just a fun time. Walter Paisley, played by Dick Miller, really is what sells this whole movie. He plays the character fantastic. Like I said, he's a very dim-witted, moronic, naive, very impressionable type character. And he plays it to a T. Like every scene in this film, you kind of feel for him because Walter Paisley is very much kind of an asshole. I mean, he's usually, he's killing people for his personal gain. He just doesn't really care because he's not educated. And Roger Corman captures that very well in the direction of the film. I love that about this movie. And like I said, it's very much what the film is. It's about his character. And I love that. Dark comedy elements of the film are fantastic when he's killing people and things like that. It's just like, it's not like laugh out loud, bust your gut laughing moments, but it's funny. It's dark humor and it works on all levels. I just kind of wish this film was just a little bit longer, just kind of drawing out another 15 minutes or something like that. But that was always been kind of my gripe with this one. I think it's just a little bit too short, but it's a fun film. Of course, it's not like, drenched in blood and things like that, because it is a horror comedy. But there is some pretty funny kills in this one, actually, to be honest. Yeah, and I really like I like the sets in this film. I like the cafe that they use. It really does capture, that kind of very pretentious type feel to, those art house cafes and things like that, where just the way the artsy people are talking and things like that. So the dialogue is very reminiscent of, what an artsy type community would be like. I've been in them in myself. many times, and it's just funny how these type of people really do talk, and I think they capture that in the dialogue quite well. Very pretentious type people and things like that. So overall, it's a very fun film. It's very fast. The sets that they use, they kind of seem cheap, but I looked it up, and apparently this film cost $50,000 to make in 1959, which is really interesting because that's a lot of money in 1959. So inflated, I don't know what that would be today, but it just seems like that's a really high budget for this type of film. And I do respect Roger Corman for not wanting to go out there and make like a super serious horror film. Kind of had fun with this one, and I think it worked on all levels, character-wise and story-wise and stuff. Even though the story isn't overly that original, it still is fun. It's a really fun film. Now, getting to the Film Detectives Blu-ray, unfortunately there is absolutely no features on this, which I would have liked to seen a couple features on here, but there is no features. But the transfer is pretty good. It's in 1.851 aspect ratio, so it's widescreen. It looks really good, and it's awesome, man. It's really good. So, but yeah, unfortunately there's no features on it. So, and the other thing I will note about this, these are not pressed discs. They actually are burn on demands. So, if you're interested, check this out at the website. I believe these things are going for like $10, $11 on Blu-ray and stuff like that. So they're definitely worth your time. I think it's worth the upgrade. If you own this film or not, it's probably the best it's ever looked. It might even be the best it ever will look. So definitely give Bucket of Blood a shot. If I had to rate this film, I would give it a solid 7.5 out of 10, just because I think I just wanted to see a lot more, but it's done very well. It's a very, very solid film from Roger Corman. If you're familiar with his work, you know what you're going to get with A Bucket of Blood. But awesome film. Love everything about it. So, but yeah, definitely give this a shot from the Film Detective, guys. And that's going to do it for episode 39 here on my Random Horror Review series. I'll be back with another one from the Film Detective here shortly. So stay tuned for that, guys. Peace out. Messenger. Fucking beeping over there.